Hi, welcome to my house in the woods. I am currently building a tiny house, and I kind of was looking at them building today and I was like, oh my gosh, this is moving so fast, and like I feel like I just need to do like a life update and just kind of talk about like what I've kind of gone through in the total of this year and just like where my head is at, because I feel like so much is changing in my brain for me, and I kind of need to take a moment to just slow down and be like, okay, let's assess, like where are we? So that's what this video is. This year has been crazy, and I talked about this a little bit in my first video when I like came back to YouTube a couple weeks ago, or like 2 months ago, and I don't know, this year's just been kind of crazy. So I'm currently 18, and if you don't know me, I've basically had a crazy childhood, crazy life. I was like on YouTube for most of my life, from like 10 to around 16 is kind of when I stopped doing it consistently, and I was traveling all the time. I had tons of opportunities. I've just had like a crazy life, and I've always been the kind of person who's like really enthusiastic, and like I just have so many ideas and so many passions and things in life that I love. I feel like I've always struggled with like having so many interests and so many things, and so then I'm kind of like, well, what do I do with all of this? How can I do everything when that's kind of impossible, because there's only 24 hours in a day, and really only 12 because you have to sleep at night, obviously. So when I started like not consistently doing YouTube and not taking that like completely seriously, I found music, and I started writing songs when I was about 13, and it's pretty much always been something that I loved, always. But there was a time when I was really taking my music seriously, but in kind of an unhealthy way. Like I wanted to get songs out all the time, and I wanted to just grind, and I was releasing stuff all the time, but like looking back, I'm like, my heart was not in it. Like that song was not very good. And of course everyone thinks that about like the stuff they do when they're little, like, oh, that's so cringe. But like I know that even then my standards were higher and I could have done a better job, but I was just like, I had the grind mindset at the time because I loved it, and I thought the more I did it, the like better I was doing, but that's just not the case. I actually committed to myself when I was 16 to just completely stop thinking about producing music. I was just like, no, let's just like full turkey, I'm not doing this, and just see what happens. Like, is this something that I carry into like my adult years? And what's crazy is that entire year I wrote so many songs. Now I won't be releasing any of them because they're just kind of like regular pop songs. Like they're not like, oh, so amazing and substantial. It was really cool to see that even though I knew I wasn't gonna release anything that I was writing, because that's what my promise to myself was, that I still wanted to write, and that passion was still there, and it wasn't just to get it in front of other people, it was just for me. And like I would have a really hard day, or a boy would be stupid and mean, and I would just like go to my piano and sit there and like sing. And something I always really love too is like learning how to play on piano a song that I really love, like a pop song, and figuring out like the notes and exactly what chords they use and how their melody is good and why it's good, and then kind of like trying to make my own version of that song. Those kind of songs I don't release because they're like kind of copying someone else, but it's like a really good practice for me, and it's just like so intellectually stimulating for me. And so I just kind of did things like that, like picked up a lot of knowledge out of like the fun of it. So at the start of this year, I had a crazy different life. I was in a relationship and we were together literally all the time, and that was just crazy. And I realized throughout not just like that experience, but also the support that I was receiving from like my closest friends and my parents and stuff, that I really want to do music a lot. It's just kind of like the way I do things. It's my routine. It's if I feel anything, or I read a book I love, or I watch a movie I love, or something crazy happens to someone that I love, my automatic response is to go and write about it. And usually it starts with lyrics and then it's put to music, but sometimes it'll be music first and then lyrics. It just kind of depends. And I think that I was really hesitant at the start of this year because I knew like, okay, I'm 18 now and my platform isn't what it used to be. I have kind of let go. I have a big girl job, and there's so many things I should do with my life, and they should be professional and they should be mature. And I was kind of like thinking all these worried and doubtful thoughts just about me doing music, because like if you go into a room of adults and grandparents and you're like, I'm a musician, chances are a couple of them are going to be like, oh, okay. Yeah, I just kind of have this thought in my head like, oh, there's no way that would work, like that would become something. I never thought that music could become something. I was just so like scared of it. But I did spend a lot of time just like journaling and praying about what exactly would look like for me to move forward with music. And I knew that I needed a team. I knew that I couldn't just magically get better or start recording better music or start learning way more like completely on my own. And then a couple months into the year, I found a new studio, and it's the most wonderful place. The stuff that the producer makes for me is so beautiful and like exactly what I want, and it's so my heart, and he spends so much time investing in me as an artist and discovering what I want, and it's just a really special experience to like go in and feel like I'm being completely heard, and the stuff that I'm making isn't just the bare minimum. He's putting his all into the music. I guess like at the time that I found this opportunity, I didn't realize just how grateful I was or how like much of a miracle it was that I had this opportunity. I was kind of just like, oh cool, I found a new producer, I guess I'll start making more music. But now looking back, I'm like, this is what I was asking for. This is what I was hoping on, and now like it's the opportunity that's literally right in front of me. And I'm just like, wait, I need to like sit and appreciate this and not allow myself to be ungrateful for anything, because this is what I was looking for. And so pretty much all of this summer I have been writing and recording music, and there's still a part of me that's like scared because this is what I want so badly, and the chances of it like not going well, I guess, are high. But then at the same time, I'm like, I'm not losing anything by just making music. Like, say if no one ever listened to it, am I losing anything other than like money? So I don't know, I guess I just need to get over this mental hurdle that somehow it's wrong to do this. Like, I love it. It's amazing to make music, and like that is 100% valid enough on its own. I think I just put such high expectations on myself, and I think I've always done that. So anyways, I actually am releasing a song this week. It's probably already out by the time this video is out. It's crazy. It's a really, I don't know. It's very vulnerable. What's crazy is I wrote it about 2 different guys that I've dated. It's not just about one, which is not like the most common for me. Usually when I write a song, it's about like one person. But this song is kind of like a compilation of people that I've loved, and like how I see myself after being in those relationships, and how I feel like I've changed, and the things that I prioritize and the things that I love. But then it's also kind of about like growing up in childhood and not feeling like you can become a full adult. So it's very hard to explain. And when I try and tell my friends about it, I'm kind of just like, you'll just have to listen to it, because it really is so poetic, and it's kind of like all of my thoughts put together. But fun. Right after that song releases next week, the following week, I'm releasing another song that's a lot more easy to understand. It's a love song. It's kind of crazy because it is about the relationship that I was in at the beginning of this year, and I guess it's just crazy like how quickly things change. Like one moment can change your entire feeling about something that you think is going to be forever, and I still get sad about that, and about like just losing people in general is really hard, and not having the same life that you once did. It's like you're constantly moving forward, but constantly kind of looking back and being like, wait, I missed that. And it never like destroys my happiness. Like I feel like what you guys see, if you observe me as like a joyful person, because that's what I feel like I get told a lot, like that is completely true, and exactly how I appear is how I feel. But there is a part of me that is a lot more nostalgic and a little bit more like sentimental about things than I am on the day-to-day, and it only comes out every once in a while, and it is definitely a part of me. And I think that that's where my music comes from. I don't know, it's weird, it's confusing to me, because I'm like, how am I so like not deep and not sad, and then all of a sudden like I will be really deep, and I will be a little bit sad. It's just weird. I have a hard time understanding like the way that I am and why, but I also am trying my best not to question it, and just to literally just be who I am. So I moved out at the start of this summer, and that was crazy because I had just gone through a breakup, so my entire life was different because we were together literally every single day. So it wasn't just like someone I was dating, it was literally like how I was spending all of my time. And then I moved out, and I didn't have that person with me anymore, and I feel like that was just like a really hard time. Every single night I would put on like lullaby music, and I would stretch. I would just try and like pray and soothe myself and feel less like everything was happening so fast that I knew was like changing. And I didn't think that moving out was going to be so jarring for me, but it just was. Like, I don't know. There were so many positives about the whole thing, but I definitely was ready to come home. Now that we're building a house, it's all just like, it's so crazy. I decided I wanted to build a house like a couple months ago, and I didn't think it'd be possible at the time. I was like, there's no way I could just like build a house. And then I talked about it with my mom, and we made a plan of what it would look like to build a house and like how much it would cost, and I was like, wait a second, I can do this. And then the process started 2 weeks ago, and here we are. It's like a fully functioning house, and I can't even believe it. I think it's insane. I can't believe how fast they're going. And every day that I come down here and look at it, I'm just like, I need to move in here now. Like, oh my gosh, I need this. I'm definitely going to have my friends come and sleep over with me the first couple days because I'm afraid that I'm gonna be scared. But now that my little rant is over, I wanna show y'all around my house. I don't know if you could tell, but I didn't have my glasses on that whole time and I couldn't see anything, so I was like squinting. I don't know why I didn't put my contacts in today, I just like really didn't feel like it. Okay, so this is the house. So it is the evening time, that's why it's like a little bit darker. I think that this is what they call blue hour, question mark. It's gorgeous. Well, actually not really yet, but like it's going to be gorgeous. The potential is there. Okay, so this is the front door, crazy. This structure here is the bathroom. The bathroom is tiny, but it's totally okay because I've always had a really tiny bathroom, like anywhere that I've ever lived, which I've only lived in one place, so I don't know why I said that because I've only had one bathroom, but and there's gonna be a wall here. This will be great because I can put some wall art and a little thing to hang my keys on, kind of set this scene, the mood. Okay, so then this is the living room. I'm probably gonna put a couch here and just a carpet. I want to kind of keep it slightly open. I don't want it to feel too crammed, but I also have to like fit so much stuff in here because there's not a lot of cabinet space and there's no closets. Okay, here is the kitchen. I was most excited about this overhead window, and what I really didn't like about the tiny house that we visited that was already built was that there wasn't a window above the sink, because that's just really important to me. So the sink will be here, and then we'll have a fridge and a little stove. And then what's really interesting is that the bedroom and the living room are not separated by a wall. At first I didn't know how I was gonna feel about this, but now that I'm seeing it, it like totally makes sense. So in here, we're pretty much just gonna fit like a bed and then a cabinet on either sides of the bed. And that's pretty much the whole space. Also, look how cool. There's windows all the way up here. We needed to like maximize as much natural light as possible because it is darker back here since there's so many trees. But like, this is my house. This is gonna be where I'm gonna live until I'm married, basically. And I just like, I'm trying to let that sit in. I'm like, Annie, this is literally where you're going to live for the next like 5-7 years. I just can't believe it. It's crazy. Also, I blow dried my hair today. Do you like it? I feel like it looks like neater than usual. It's like not like as frizzy, and it's so, I feel like it's so glam. And then of course out here, this is the deck and this is the forest. I can't wait to spend all of my evenings out here. It's already so cozy and there's not even like furniture or anything. I'm just gonna sit out here all day and write music, and it's gonna be the best. I'm excited to have an update for y'all about the tiny house. It's gonna be so great. I'm so excited. It's moving so quickly. I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.